Hi everyone, episode 2 in the series. So this episode we're going to be talking about some of the major decisioning of the components, so engine and the driveline. So let's get into it. Let's get to the heart of the car, the engine. The original Holdens come with a range of engines from a 173 through to a 308 V8, and those engines are just no longer available. You can buy parts for the engines, but the block and those sorts of key components are just not there. And to use that technology, it's still 50-year-old technology. They make good power, but they're not particularly fuel efficient. Again, on the internet, let's look at some options. Pretty quickly, GM Performance in America, which made the engine in the last Commodore, sell crate engines off the rack, and they're a beautiful engine. They come with the engine, ECU, loom, throttle pedal, to suit an older style installation, and the gearbox. They're priced right, and it's really a no-brainer. So the LS3 engine is the one that I've chosen from GM Performance, straight out of the crate.
325 kilowatts.
Which is close to 500 horsepower in the old money.
588 Newton meters.
In a nice light car that I'm going to produce will provide exceptional performance. Those power and torque figures, they're in excess of what the Porsche 911 produced up there with Ferrari, Lamborghini, so that will provide fantastic performance for this car. And that LS3 is used in V8 supercar, Trans Am, in lots and lots of racing categories around the world. It's a proven engine, so again, it just makes sense to go down that road. So this is the LS3 in all its glory. See here the engine, it's not brand new. I'm going to be using this in the prototype. It didn't make sense to buy a brand new engine, so I managed to get one out of a wreck. We've had a look at it, had the sump off and everything, it's all good. So this will be more than enough for what we need, and this is what we're going to be using in the prototype. All right, let's move on to the gearbox. Now I want to talk gearbox and diff in one initially, because I really explored the option of having a transaxle. V8 supercar have a transaxle. It's where your diff and gearbox are in one unit. They're positioned in the back of the car. Fantastic for packaging and also for weight distribution. You've got the heavy engine in the front, you've got the gearbox and diff in the back of the car. So from a weight balance perspective, makes a lot of sense. Lots of good racing cars have the transaxle for that reason. Again, on the internet, start having a look around what's available. Your latest C8 Corvette has a beautiful transaxle, dual clutch operation with paddles. The Corvette is 500 kilowatts or something in that range. So it's got the capability of managing that amount of power and torque. I rang the manufacturers of that transmission, Tremec, in the US, and unfortunately not available. We've made it under license for GM, and they're the only people we can sell it to. So then I rang a couple of people I know here in Australia, Modena in Victoria, I know them pretty well. Can you make me an automatic transaxle? Similar case and everything to the manual. Well, we're pretty busy, we can't do it. And again, I spoke to PPG, who I've also got a previous relationship with, and same story, we're pretty busy, can't really afford the time for development, so it's off the table. So, back to a more traditional approach, gearbox attached to the engine. Going back to the GM Performance catalogue, the LS3 package comes with either a manual or automatic transmission, which solves that problem. TR6060 6-speed manual transmission, very robust behind the last Commodore, good to use, also made by Tremec, so good reputation, a bit of a no-brainer. They'll be the options going forward. So now we've made the decision to have a gearbox, we need to look at the rear end, the differential. So part of the decisioning around the rear suspension, which I'll get to in future episodes, is that I've used a Nissan subframe and a Nissan arrangement. So I purchased a diff center from a 350Z Nissan. You can't actually buy a casing for that differential. So back to the internet, I looked around in Australia, not that many options. I went to America and I found what is quite a good setup, which is a 9-inch Ford differential, which is ubiquitous in differentials around the world. Lots of racing categories use it. But we've got this setup, which is a 9-inch differential, but it's an independent rear with independent axles and independent suspension. Strange internals in the diff center, going out to 1,000 horsepower axles and CVs. This arrangement is built to replace your high power Commodore. So it comes with all the mounting points and everything, and I think it'll be a great setup. It'll be more than enough capacity for the standard LS3 engine.
Thank you for watching this episode of Drive South. We look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, drive southly, and remember to always dream a little dream.